London 2012 Paralympic Games are upon us. Massive media profiles, corporate sponsorship, and athletes like Oscar Pistorius becoming household names. But it wasn't always like that, you know. Let's hit rewind for a second and go back in time. All the way back to the end of the Second World War, and a time when attitudes were, shall we say, different.
When my grandma describes someone as coloured, she's not racist. She's just my grandma. It's just like, but it's coloured, you can't say coloured, burn her!
Ironically, it was a German Jew who had fled his homeland to avoid persecution. Dr. Ludwig Guttmann, who changed the landscape forever through his work at Stoke Mandeville Hospital with injured servicemen.
Well, I haven't got much hope, Doctor.
You haven't got much hope?
No.
Now look here, cut that out, will you?
He obviously made enemies quite easily, you know, sort of because he was very abrupt and sometimes in the way he spoke to people.
His dream was an elite sports competition for the disabled, and so in 1948, as London hosted the Olympics, the first Stoke Mandeville Games took place, albeit on a smaller scale. 1960 was the year the Beatles were formed. A loaf of bread cost just 5 pence, and of course, Cliff Richard was the pop sensation of the day. And we love a bit of Cliff. But it was also the year of the first International Paralympic Games, and the Italians prepared to host. A week after the Olympics, 400 disabled athletes from 23 countries descended on Rome for the first ever official Paralympic Games. They competed with blessing from on high.
Pope John spoke about Paralympic Games in St. Peter Place. It's strange for that period.
The Olympic Village was party central. There was just one problem, though. The accommodation was on stilts, so the athletes had to be carried in and out.
Once you were up, it was fine. The accommodation was great.
As the Games evolved, so the number of events, disability classes and spectators grew. By 1980, there was television coverage and a rescue mission from the Dutch after Russia controversially claimed to lack the facilities.
I felt rather bitter.
One of the most significant moments in Paralympic history came in 1988 as the Seoul Games opened to a crowd of 80,000 people. The attitude of the South Koreans symbolic of a new era.
And they'd come in and chat to us, and ourselves, they were great. And if they could give you a lift, they'd give you a lift.
Sydney in 2000 upped it to a completely new level. When it comes to sport, the Aussies really know what they're doing. Bless them.
I think the Australians try a little too hard, and every time they win something, you know what I mean? Once again, it's right in your face.
Competitive they may be, but Sydney shifted perceptions forever.
Probably the most important impact, it was on attitudes. Attitudes towards people with disabilities, athletes with disabilities.
An elite sporting event? Acceptance? Oh yes, Guttmann's vision was there for all to see. So in some ways we've come full circle. The Games are back here in the UK where they all began, but yet as an event, it's virtually unrecognisable. One thing's for sure though, it's been quite a journey so far.